Anybody?
Well, there are some people.
Person.
Well, he was elected president of the United States, so some people obviously voted for him.
By a minority of the electorate, by the way.
Well, but that minority still counts millions of people.
Ridiculous electoral college system.
Well, but Mr. Dawkins, whether or not you like the American political system, I think it's evident that a lot of people still support him. They voted in favor.
Ignorant, uneducated people for the most part.
Regardless of that, but I know that you yourself on your Twitter account compared him to a little ADHD boy, and you said that the system that delivered such a president clearly needs to be reformed. Don't you think that, again, the presence of, let's say, nuclear weapons or any other major scientific developments and the ability of them being controlled by a person like, for example, Trump, creates a major liability for humanity?
Deeply worrying that a man, a juvenile delinquent, you could almost call him, has his finger on the nuclear button. That is a very disturbing fact.
That comparison of Trump to ADHD boy, I thought was very characteristic of you, because you managed to upset not only Trump's supporters, but also parents of children with ADHD diagnosis. And I saw that many of them wrote to you on Twitter saying that people with neurological conditions or short attention spans can still be productive and successful members of society.
You can't say anything without offending somebody these days.
No, but don't you think they have a point here that surely he's not like you, he's not an intellectual, he doesn't pretend to be, but that doesn't necessarily make him unqualified as a president.
He's obviously unqualified. I mean, he's a vain, vainglorious, self-obsessed, narcissistic, ignorant man.
So what?
So what? So something's gone wrong with a system that can, out of 300 million people, that he should rise to the top, suggests there's something seriously wrong with the system.
But, you know, I'm asking you because I think it's actually a very interesting philosophical question, because we often talk about income inequality, but I also think that there is intellectual inequality. Some people clearly more talented, more skilled at mental work than, or public speaking than others, but we welcome diversity in most professions. Why not in the top office?
We do not welcome diversity of ability in doctoring, in driving, trains, planes, ships. You want somebody qualified. You want somebody who knows how to do the job. If you're going to have an operation, you want a highly qualified surgeon. You don't want diversity among surgeons.
But the job of the president is different, because you do train to be a surgeon or to be a pilot, but nothing can prepare you to be a president.
Why not be trained to be a president? Why not have a system that chooses people who are qualified in politics, in economics, in history, in judgment?
But, you know, I'll give you an example of, let's say, Barack Obama, who was as bona fide intellectual as it can be, but many people in Washington believe that he suffered from an opposite malaise, processing too much information at the expense of efficient decision-making. So, again, don't you think that Trump may bring something different to that office?
Barack Obama was less successful as a president because he was up against a Congress that wouldn't let him do anything, probably for racist reasons.
But the same with Trump. I mean, he also has a Congress that is not...
He's got a Republican Congress, he's got both houses of Congress, he's got the Supreme Court. He still can't get anything done.
Well, because there are lots of powerful forces that are quite predisposed against him.
Even his own party is now realizing that he's incompetent.
But, life is... I will try to sort of apply your own theories to this argument, because life is an experiment. Human institutions are built through trials and tribulations, and as much as you may not like Mr. Trump, don't you think that, having somebody like him may be beneficial for the system as a whole?
Are you seriously advocating Donald Trump?
No,
I don't believe it. You're just being provocative.
I'm being provocative, but I think I'm being provocative for a good reason, because,
I cannot believe that you are seriously saying that Donald Trump could possibly be a good thing. You don't believe that, do you?
Well, my argument is that when it comes to politics, there seems to be a very dogmatic idea about how a person should behave, what he should think, how he or she should talk in order to look presidential. Even if you don't like him on a personal level, don't you think that, it would be a good idea of thinking about him as a gene mutation that can give a new impulse to the already ossified political organism. It's
No.
clear that the system needs to be reformed. You yourself
I do
admitted
not
that.
think so, and nor do you.
Why not? But I mean, how else could you upset the system that is very rigid in the way it operates?
You would not wish to upset the system by electing somebody incompetent, ignorant, and clearly not fitted for the job.
But isn't that what evolution is all about?
No.
Introducing a mutation that is not...
No. Come on, stop this. You're talking nonsense, if I may say so.
Why?
You do not wish to really advocate a change in human affairs by saying what we need is mutation in any direction in the hope that it'll somehow be better. That's not the way we run human affairs.
But human institutions are also, also operate by the same rules, by the same rules as all other human organisms. Is it not the case?
You are not going to run human affairs in a Darwinian way. I've spent my whole life arguing against that.
Well, you spent your whole life arguing that religion has an evolutionary purpose. So I assume
Yes.
that politics is also
It's a totally different question. I'm asked the question, what is the evolutionary significance of religion? Why do people's brains have a tendency to be religious? It's very different from saying that religion is a benefit, is a good thing, and I would not dream of suggesting that we should run our political affairs on Darwinian lines.
But Mr. Dawkins, in all seriousness, how do you think this system that is very rigid and very hostile to any kind of change, how else could it be changed?
Are you telling me that you're advocating
I'm not
Donald Trump?
advocating, but
Yes, you are.
No.
I mean, you're either that or you're just trying to provoke me. You're taking a deliberately contrary position, which is clearly opposite from what you